Deep in the rolling green hills of the Wolds, there is a place unlike any other. It is not a grand castle or a mighty river. It is a small, quiet dip in the land, a hollow sheltered by ancient twisted oak trees. This place is called the Whispering Hollow. It is special. You see, it holds a secret. When the wind blows just right, it seems to sing through the leaves and the long grasses. It sounds like soft voices, whispering stories that only the wind and the trees can understand. People have come here for hundreds of years, drawn by its gentle mystery. The hollow is a place of peace. Sunlight filters through the canopy of the old oaks, dappling the ground in shifting patterns of light and shadow. Wildflowers grow in colorful patches, bluebells in spring and poppies in summer. Small creatures live here too. Rabbits twitch their noses at the edge of the woods, and shy deer sometimes step out to drink from the little stream that trickles through the center. But it is the sound, that strange and beautiful whispering, that makes this hollow so very different from any other valley in the Wolds. It is a sound that makes you stop and listen with your whole heart. This place feels old. Older than the nearby village, older than the stone walls that crisscross the fields. The trees have thick, gnarled trunks, and their branches reach out like long, welcoming arms. Their bark is a map of time, covered in soft green moss and tiny lichens. The air itself feels different here, cooler and calmer than on the open hillsides. It's as if the hollow is holding its breath, waiting for someone to come and share its quiet magic. It is a place for secrets, for dreams, and for listening to the world in a way you never have before. Why do the whispers happen? Some say it is just the wind, playing tricks as it moves through the uniquely shaped valley and the dense leaves of the trees. Scientists might explain it with acoustics and airflow, but for those who live in the Wolds, the explanation is not so simple. They believe the hollow has a memory. It remembers everything that has ever happened here, every footstep, every laugh, every tear. The whispers are the echoes of the past, carried on the breeze for anyone quiet enough to hear them. It is a place that guards its history closely, sharing it only in soft, rustling tones. The old folk in the village love to tell stories about the Whispering Hollow. They say the whispers are not just the wind, they are the voices of the past, of people who lived long, long ago. One favorite tale is about a young shepherd boy named Tom. He would bring his flock of sheep to graze on the sweet grass in the hollow every day. He was a lonely boy with no family to speak of, and his only friends were his sheep and his loyal dog, Pip. He loved the hollow more than anywhere else on earth. It was his home, his sanctuary, his friend. One day a terrible storm rolled in across the Wolds. The sky turned black and rain fell in heavy sheets. Tom gathered his frightened sheep, trying to lead them to the shelter of the old oak trees, but the wind howled and the thunder roared, and the sheep scattered in fear. Tom and Pip ran frantically through the storm, calling for them, but their calls were lost in the noise. As darkness fell, Tom huddled under the largest oak tree, heartbroken. He had lost his entire flock, and he knew he would be in terrible trouble. He was utterly alone and afraid. It was then, at his saddest moment, that Tom first heard the whispers. They were not scary, they were gentle and kind. The voices seemed to come from the leaves, from the grass, from the very air around him. They told him not to worry. They told him where to look. One voice, soft as a mother's lullaby, told him to follow the little stream to a hidden cave behind a waterfall. Another, like the rustle of dry leaves, told him his sheep were safe there, waiting for him. The whispers guided him, giving him courage when he had none left. Following the ghostly directions, Tom and Pip found the hidden cave, and there, huddled together and safe from the storm, was his entire flock. From that day on, the villagers say, the hollow always looked after Tom. The whispers would warn him of bad weather, guide him to the best grazing spots, and keep him company on long, quiet afternoons. They say the hollow remembers his kindness and his love for the place, and that is why it shares its secrets with those who come with an open heart. The whispers are the spirit of the land, forever watching over those who care for it. To visit the Whispering Hollow is to step into another world. The journey begins on a narrow, winding path that leads down from the open hillside. As you walk, the sounds of the modern world begin to fade away. The noise of cars and tractors is replaced by the buzz of bees and the cheerful song of a skylark high above. The air grows stiller, and you can smell the rich damp earth and the sweet scent of wildflowers. Your footsteps seem to make the only sound, a soft crunching on the soil and fallen leaves. It feels like you're walking into a storybook. When you finally arrive at the bottom of the hollow, a special kind of quiet settles over you. It is a silence that is full of life. You can see everything so clearly here. You might notice the delicate paper-thin wings of a dragonfly as it hovers over the stream. You might see a tiny field mouse darting through the roots of a great oak tree. The colors seem brighter, the greens greener, and the blues of the sky more vivid. You feel small, but not in a bad way. You feel like a small part of something very big and very old. And then you hear it. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves above you, and the whispering begins. At first you might think it is just the wind, but as you stand and listen, really listen, it begins to sound like more. It is a soft, shushing sound, like a secret being shared just for you. It rises and falls, sometimes sounding like a soft sigh, other times like a distant murmur of conversation. It makes the hairs on your arms stand up, but not from fear. It is a feeling of wonder, of being in the presence of something ancient and magical. The feeling of being in the hollow stays with you. It is a place that encourages you to be quiet, to watch, and to listen. You might sit on a moss-covered log and just breathe, letting the peace of the place wash over you. You might close your eyes and try to make out words in the whispers, letting your imagination run wild. It is a place that makes you feel connected to the earth, to the past, and to yourself. You feel calm, curious, and a little bit enchanted. It is an experience that you carry with you long after you have climbed back up the path and into the everyday world. Imagine you are a girl named Lily visiting your grandparents in the Wolds for the summer. You have heard the stories about the Whispering Hollow, and one sunny afternoon you decide to go and see it for yourself. You pack a small bag with an apple, a book and a bottle of water, and you set off on the adventure. As you walk down the winding path, you feel a thrill of excitement and a little bit of nervousness. You find a perfect spot under a big oak tree, sit down and listen. The whispers are real. They are soft and soothing, and you soon feel completely at ease. After a while, you notice a small movement in the bushes nearby. You stay very still, holding your breath. A young fox with fur the color of autumn leaves and bright, intelligent eyes steps cautiously into the clearing. It does not seem to have seen you. It trots over to the stream for a drink, its ears twitching as it listens to the sounds of the hollow. You have never been this close to a wild fox before. It is beautiful, and you watch mesmerized as it moves with a graceful, silent tread. It is a magical moment, a secret shared between you and the wild creature. Suddenly the fox looks up and its eyes meet yours. For a long second, neither of you moves. You're not afraid, and strangely, the fox does not seem to be either. It just looks at you with a curious expression. You remember the apple in your bag. Very slowly, you take it out and break off a small piece. You roll it gently across the grass towards the fox. It watches the apple roll, then looks back at you. It takes a hesitant step forward, sniffs the piece of fruit, and then, with a quick flick of its head, it eats it. The fox does not run away. It stays for a little while longer, almost as if it is thanking you for the treat and for your quiet company. Eventually, with a final swish of its bushy tail, it disappears back into the undergrowth. You sit there for a long time, your heart full. You came to the hollow to hear the whispers of the past, but you ended up sharing a moment with a living, breathing part of its present. This encounter, this unexpected friendship, becomes your own secret story of the Whispering Hollow, a memory you will treasure forever. Places like this are not just about legends, they are about making new stories too.